Hey guys, I'm Tris and today I'm going to be talking about 5 more games for the Nintendo Switch that you need. Let's get on with it. Number 1 is probably one of my favorite games of all time, Dead Cells. Honestly, I love Metroidvanias and roguelites. I love my platformers. Seriously, this is one of the best games I've played in a very long time by Motion Twin. It's really cool. I actually ended up playing this game when it was first released in alpha. I also streamed to Twitch on an alt Twitch account, but honestly it's probably one of my favorite Metroidvanias of all time, Dead Cells. I've actually got a copy on PC, I've got a copy here on Switch, like the regular edition before it came as the Game of the Year, I think it is. Anyways, as well as the Signature Edition game, which they've literally announced probably a while ago, but I picked it up last week, pre-ordered it, and it comes out at the end of August, which I'm really keen for. Anyways, for those of you that don't know about Dead Cells, essentially you're working your way through the world as a prisoner. You've got 3 different attributes that you level up, and essentially along the way, depending on which one you choose, gives you better odds against the world. Essentially from what I remember, it's attack, which is like your red one. There's also like a purple one, which is more so for your long range weapons normally, or your speciality melee, and also your defensive green. And it's really fun. They actually released a DLC. Actually, there's been a few DLCs for Dead Cells. Really good game. I can't recommend it enough. Get the game. And as per usual, get the physical. Look how beautiful that is. I really like it. Now, number 2 is another game that I really like. It's Zelda 2 Plus. It's got amazing humor, great visuals. I think it's really quirky. Look at that cover art. You can't say no to that. I think it's quite beautiful. And also the dungeons are really fun. So essentially, it's a Zelda clone. And you'll be working your way across this mysterious island that you've just washed up ashore. Really funny storyline. I really enjoy it. Working your way across this in sort of cartoon 3D visuals. Pretty good. There's also a first game that I haven't actually played yet. I've got the first one coming physically on the way, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, honestly, really good Zelda clone. I'll show you a bit of gameplay along the way, but essentially work your way through the island and you have to collect certain pieces for the end game. But yeah, essentially you clear dungeons. Some of the dungeons as well have some really cool new weapons for you to try. Really fun. You can't go wrong here. Now, this next game is actually 2 games in one, and that's the Guacamelee 1-2 Punch collection. I actually ended up ordering this probably last year through Oz Game Shop. I buy quite a bit off Oz Game Shop as well because it's good for me to import them through there. And anyways, this has just had a release in Australia, which really excites me because if that goes on sale, I'm gonna have to get the Australian one too. Help me. So it's the 1-2 Punch collection. It includes the Super Turbo Championship Edition of the original game and also the second game. And essentially, these are Metroidvania games. I have way too many platformers in my collections, especially Metroidvanias, but essentially you play as a luchador. You'll work your way through the Day of the Dead and essentially getting rid of those specific enemies. It's really cool, it's funny, incredible humor. A lot of the games today that I'm actually providing have some really good humor along the way. I just had to look down at the pile because I'm like, yeah, there's some really good games there. But yeah, so I haven't actually played the second game. The first one I highly recommend, but from the second game, I haven't played it, if I'm going to be honest with you, but from what I've heard, it's absolutely amazing, and if my backlog wasn't so big, I would probably be playing that right now. But I'm playing Paper Mario because my backlog is monstrous. Now, these aren't in any order today, but this is another great title, and it's Slay the Spire. Essentially, it's a drafting game where you have to draft your team and use those spells that you get from the deck that you draft to progress through the story. It's really cool. There's so much exploration involved, whether or not it's leveling yourself up through the Tinkerer by making your cards stronger, replenishing your health, increasing your health as well. There's a lot to do here, especially if you're a fan of TCGs. So I loved drafting. I played Magic the Gathering for such a long time and the Pokemon card game as well. And essentially with Magic the Gathering, I used to always love drafting. And essentially with drafting, you never have a certain amount of cards that you start with. You just pick up cards along the way and you build your deck. And that's what this game is. You work your way through a dungeon with really interesting graphics as well, and you draft your team to be the best along the way. And now there are some really cool things about this classic drafting as well. You can actually remove certain cards out of your deck forever if you don't want them, so you can get the better cards more often. But yeah, I really like this. I love drafting games anyways, but Slay the Spire, really, really good. Now the last one today, it is just beautiful. I cried playing this game. It is just, what, amazing. But it's really, really good multiplayer, couch co-op. It's Unravel 2. And with Unravel 2, essentially, you play as these little yarn boys. Super cute, and you're connected by string. So it's a puzzle platformer, so along the way, you can throw across your other buddy along the screen, and then you use that yarn that's between each other so you can actually work your way across to the next objective and obstacle. It made puzzling really fun. Platforming was amazing. Get the game, especially if you have someone to play it with. It's really fun, it's really cute. And as I said, I bawled my eyes out on this. It was a beautiful, beautiful story. And to be honest, I want to play this again now. But yeah, essentially, these are my 5 games that I would absolutely recommend that you need on the Switch. This is just something I really like doing. I have so many games now. I'm not going to name the amount because it brings shame. Not really, it doesn't bring any shame. I love the Switch. But yeah, with this kind of thing, I have so many games and I want to just share my love for the system with you by providing games that I think are really, really good. Now, especially if you're a platformer, I have so many games that are platforming based that you're gonna love, that I'm gonna bring up in future videos as well. And there's quite a few platformers in this today, but platformers are just great. Anyways, I'm Tris and I hope today's video has helped give you an insight into maybe what games you should add to your wish list or to your collection anyways, and I hope to catch you in the future with a Nintendo Switch review, unboxing, 5 game video thing, and more. I'll see you then.